I love creating something that no one else created in the world. I mean, looking back, I invented something that is just gone viral, not just Australia and New Zealand, but globally. And I'm very proud of it.
Hey lovely, Lisa here, and before we dive into today's episode of She Talks, I have got a little favour to ask you. If this podcast has ever made you feel a little bit more confident, a little bit more inspired, or a little less alone in this wild ride of running your own business, then I would love you to leave us a review on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you're listening. I know it sounds like a small thing, but it really helps get She Talks into the ears of more incredible women just like you, and it helps us keep bringing you the good stuff. And if there's an episode that made you go, oh my God, every woman in business needs to hear this, please share it with someone you love. Text it to your business bestie, add it to your stories, or drop the link in a group chat. However you do it, we are so grateful. All right, that's it from me. Let's jump in. How far can belief and boldness take you? In Tanya's case, all the way to building a massive empire that sells 10 pairs of socks every minute. In this episode, I sit down with the unstoppable founder behind Mad Mia, the brand that turned crazy socks into a symbol of freedom, fun, and self-expression. From risking her last $7,000 at the Sydney Royal Easter Show to signing global deals with Disney, Tanja shares how she built a worldwide phenomenon without ever losing her spark. We dive into how becoming a mum supercharged her creativity, why she refuses to hand over her brand's social media to anybody else, and how she's bravely launching a new warehouse right now in Brazil, of all places. Plus, we talk about her refusal to accept the word no and why that mindset is the secret weapon behind her unstoppable rise. Join me now for a masterclass in guts, growth, and making magic happen. So usually we speak to founders on this podcast who've started a product to solve their own problem. However, I love your story because you were a designer at Mad Mia and then you were given an opportunity to invest and make it your own brand. And I want to know what made you move from employee to employer?
The love for the brand and what we do behind the scene, which we create. Mad Mia is not just a sock brand. We create socks, but it's more than a socks. We actually created a movement that is all about creative freedom, fun, color. And we tend to make our customers, followers, fans just stand out of the crowd and be themselves and empower them to be something that they really want to be and never be afraid to stand out.
Do you know, I am girl crushing on you so bad right now because I love everything about your brand, not just your trajectory of success. So the geek in me is so excited to talk to you about that and the levers that you pulled. But I also am just madly in awe of what you've done with the idea that it's such a bright and colorful sock brand. And like you just said, you give people, and particularly girls, I'm guessing, the opportunity to express their innermost crazy feelings and emotions. And I just think that is incredibly amazing. But I want to know, let's just dive back for a moment. What gave you the confidence to invest in the brand, apart from the fact that you saw its opportunity? And then how has that evolved as you've owned it?
Well, first, let's start that I've always, since I was a little girl, wanted to be part of the fashion world. It's always been the place where I shine the most. I arrived in Sydney to study fashion, complete my master's degree here, sort of started working for really famous Australian fashion brands where I got the opportunity to learn a lot, not just fashion, but the business side of the fashion world, and made me realize that I wanted my own creative freedom. I wanted to create something different, something unique. And that is how it led me to Mad Mia, where I landed a job to design socks. And it was a startup company. They needed a designer to design kids' socks. So they hired me, saying, my brief was, you need to design socks that kids would love. And then here is when my creative freedom came. And then I was like, I can't just design socks. It's not good enough. We need to bring the socks to life, and we need to create the brand that it's not just about the socks, but it's a lifestyle brand that people will be obsessed and talk about it. And will make them happy. And that's what I did. Created Madmere from scratch, started from zero, selling one pair of socks per week. But after people started buying it from week to week, it's sort of, and how much they loved it and the stories they shared them after they wore it just gave me confidence that I am onto something really big here. I just have to go and explore it further, invest time, of course, finances and everything else to make it happen. I also must say that looking back, it was one of the hardest things I've done in my life because it wasn't easy. Now, 2025, it's so easy to sit here and celebrate all the successes. But looking back, 2016, when no one had my back, it was just me who believed it in Madmere, but no one else. It was just really hard. But I guess I was just not giving up. I loved it too much. I love creating something that no one else created in the world. I mean, looking back, I invented something that is just gone viral, not just Australia and New Zealand, but globally. And I'm very proud of it. I mean, even today, I still question myself. I'm like, am I good enough? Like, I will sell the socks to, for example, major retailer in Europe, and I'll be like, are they selling? Are they good? And my partner is like, stop questioning yourself. You created something really good and it's sold in significant numbers, but I still doubt myself. However, I have this drive that I just want to create something that is just, I want to make it viral. I want every kid, every parent in the world to know what I do and what I created and how happy the product makes the world. That makes the world a better place, definitely.
Oh, it most definitely does. I just was trawling across your website, and as a 47-year-old lady, I was questioning whether I could buy myself a few pairs because they're so spectacularly beautiful. And I think what's so interesting for our listeners right now is that not only did you create something new, you actually built a whole new category by doing so. And I think that's probably led you to have an enormously successful trajectory with revenues and with retailers and with global expansion because nobody else was doing it. And you do it so well. Like, there's a million questions I want to ask. It's going to be difficult to navigate it to just one podcast, but I would love to know, particularly since you've had your own children, how has that expanded upon your design ideas? I mean, you were obviously designing socks for kids before you had kids. How did that journey go?
Starting with the socks. So first, I wasn't a sock designer. I started as a designer, but not in the sock category. So I started designing. This is how the journey started actually with Madmere. So I started designing socks and I was like, it's just not good enough. I put a lot of color in. Everything is colorful, bright, but I'm like, it needs more love. So I started adding shoelaces, accessories, the wings, and I can see that the only product that was selling on my website was actually socks with those accessories. And I was like, oh my goodness, people want more of this fun socks coming to life sort of idea. So I was forcing that a lot. But once the kids came in, this is what happened. I started buying all these plush toys and whatnot for the kids. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how about we try to add some plush accessories, 3D ears and hats and whatnot on the socks. And so absolutely, my kids definitely inspire me to bring something else. And as you said before, I mean, it's definitely not just a sock brand. And very interesting statistic. I don't know if you're aware of this, but where we dominate the most and where we sell the most, actually the toy and gift stores and our website as well. So I have two sides of the business. So e-commerce, and also we supply all around the world to the major retailers like Smith's, the biggest toy stores in Europe. We sell to Hamleys, India. Now we just signed a big deal with Toys R Us Asia. So a lot of toy stores are actually selling the brand just because a lot of parents, when they go to the toy stores, they look at the product, they're like, oh my goodness, I'm tired of toys, but I can get them a gift with a little bit of plush on them. And the kids will be happy and they will wear them all the time. And the quality is amazing. So it's a win-win for everybody.
I love this. And you've actually done collaborations with brands like Disney, Barbie, and Harry Potter. Did this come about because you had children and this is this combination or collision of toys and plush toys and socks? Or was there a more strategic long-term plan there?
once I had the kids, so once just before I had the kids, I purchased the brand and became a 100% shareholder of Mad Mia. And then when I start taking a lot of risks, and I actually also work very well under pressure. So having the kids, it's giving me a lot of pressure, stress, sleepless nights, but then it gives me this thing that it just drives me to do better and to prove myself. I've always worked so hard to prove myself that I can be better, that I can do better, that I can sell so many socks and make so many people happy. So of course it inspired me. But once I had the kids, I had an idea. I'm like, always as a little girl dreamt to work with Disney or Warner Brothers, Universal, Sanrio. Why not approach them? It wasn't easy, I must say. I was at the beginning, I was the one who was knocking on their doors. Some of the partnership I built, it took me years just to get in touch with them, to pitch Mad Mia, to convince them, to show them what we do and what we can do. However, these days things have changed. They are coming to me. They are they're wanting to work with Mad Mia because we know what we stand for, what we bring, and all their, like, for example, Disney or Warner Brothers characters, how we bring them to life. And I think that the world is watching what we do and they're loving it and they want more of it. And to get, and yeah, same for all the international global licensing brands as well.
And I think there's another element to this, Tanya, if I'm honest, and it's about the quality of your socks. Like, one thing that's always stood out to me, and I've had the pleasure of browsing your stands at the Reed shows for many years and touching and feeling the socks in retailers, and my daughter wore them too. But they're not just socks, they're fashion items and they're beautifully made. And I think that goes hand in hand with everything you've just discussed. And it elevates you from my next question, of course, will come about copycats, because you can't have success and create a new category without other people trying to compete with you. But I suspect, and I'm so interested in your answer around quality being such an important component of being able to secure the retailers and keep your community coming back for more and more.
Of course. So I did a little story about how we design the socks, what we do when we design the socks, how long does it take to design a pair of Mad Mia socks. Believe it or not, it takes around 3 months from the scratch when we start drawing the design until it comes as a final sample, and then it goes in production. But what we do is we use the highest quality machines on the market. They're called 200 needle machines. We custom dye every color you see on our socks. The cool part about our socks is 99% of our socks glow in UV light as well. So that when the kids go to these disco parties, events, they glow in UV light. So that's the other exciting part about what we do. And when we custom dye the yarn and everything else, we also, to sell all around the world globally, we have to have 50 plus safety certifications just to have the product on the market, to protect the kids, the parents. And when people come and buy Mad Mia, they will feel safe and secure that our products is according to the highest standards out there. And also everything else. I mean, it also takes around 7 factories to just put one sock together. We are talking knitting, dye, yarn coloring. We are talking packaging, accessories, plush suppliers, packaging, everything else. So to put one pair of Mad Mia socks together, we got 7 manufacturers involved just to make it happen.
And what about competition? Tell us then about the copycats.
It has been quite challenging this year, to be honest, because the success of Mad Mia, it comes with a little bit of a trouble when people see the success and what we do and going behind our backs and trying to copy us. However, to prevent that, what we are doing right now is I have a full legal team involved. It's costing me significant amount of money, but what we do is every design we made, we apply for design registration. We have copyrights on most of our designs, and not just Australia and New Zealand. We do it all across the globe, or predominantly to all the countries we sell to. And also we have a legal team in Asia who is constantly working to stop. And we have few actually legal cases going on around where we are taking a few manufacturers down because going behind the back and manufacturing counterfeit products.
My goodness, that does sound like quite a complex IP system. And probably the most complex, to be honest with you, I've ever talked about to a founder, because I think for a lot of women, the concept of trademarking and patenting and design protection is something, of course, every woman wants with their brand, but most of the time we can't afford it, or perhaps the threat is not so significant. So I hear you that you're in such a specialist category that you need to protect that. That's part of your global expansion plan. So hats off for you. And I really would hate to hear what your legal bill cost is like on an annual basis. And probably you don't look at it on an annual basis, or you might cry.
Exactly. However, I keep saying to my team and everybody else, we just gotta keep going, keep designing, keep creating something unique. And people that copy us, I mean, good on them. Time will come.
Time will tell
for them.
you, yes. I'd love to know, I'm assuming that your 7 manufacturers, or the 7 components from different manufacturers, are all in China. How are you traversing keeping your relationships with your manufacturers really strong? And I say this to set the context for our listeners that back when I had my nappy brand, it was at least a once a year trip to spend 4 or 5 days with one manufacturing partner, because those relationships are so incredibly important. I would love to know what kind of advice you might have for our listeners around really supporting those relationships, and how deeply you go to make sure that they are producing for you and you only.
Exactly. First, we manufacture in China and Taiwan as well. We, for example, our manufacturing in Taiwan, I've been working with them for the past 15 years. I have many new manufacturers in China now. Originally, my manufacturing was based only in Taiwan. However, due to the high demand, we can't keep up with our production. So we had to move and expand a few manufacturers in China as well. I go there regularly. We talk every month. We have meetings. We try to support each other. I believe that my manufacturers would never, first of all, go and do anything behind my back, because they can't keep up with my orders. And I don't think they have time to go and do anything else, because they are always delayed producing my production runs and my designs. So I would never suspect that they will do anything behind my back. However, I would suggest that everybody who is working with new manufacturers, outsourcing new manufacturers, signing NDAs, try to protect yourself, try to put a contract in place to make sure if something happens in the future, you are protected as a brand owner.
And how important is your personal relationship, you, Tanya, with your manufacturers? How often are you in China, and what emphasis do you put on that?
I used to go quite often. However, now having kids, 3 kids under 5, it's quite challenging. So I just had one of my staff coming back from trip in China. She went to have a few meetings. Very important. If it wasn't them, we wouldn't have any production or any designs or any socks out there. So of course, absolutely. So that is why we call them best friends, our best friends. They're part of Mad Mia.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think there's a lot of talk in the world at the moment. Perhaps the media is spinning it in a negative way around how much we rely on China, for example, for manufacturing. But my experiences in China have always left me humbled, because they've always been amazing manufacturers that were very much invested in my business success as well, and often went out on a limb to make sure that we didn't run out of product. You know, in my case, it might be producing 3 containers at a time instead of 1, because we were getting a container a week at a time and at a certain point. And so going out on limbs constantly to produce more stock than we needed so that we wouldn't run out. And that relationship, I can't even say how important that is. And I think the world's gone a little bit mad with the whole concept of Trump's negativity around China. But for me, I've always been in awe of what they do for the rest of the world.
Of course, absolutely. I agree. And the techniques, the skills, the manufacturing process they have, I don't think many countries in the world have. The socks, for example, we make, I can't, even if I want to make them in Australia, I just can't, because we don't have the resources here. We don't have the yarn, everything else, the mills, everything that we need to make a pair of socks. So even if I want to, I would love to. Why not? But it's just not possible at this stage.
Couldn't agree. So from selling 1 pair of socks a day, now moving 10 pairs of socks a minute, like that's phenomenal growth. I'd love to know if you think there's some kind of secret sauce behind the explosive growth, and perhaps it's a marketing lever. What do you think can you attribute to that kind of growth?
I think it's the community and everybody that is behind the brand, all our fans that support us, all our customers that support us. That is what makes Madmia great. I mean, even from the start, beginning of Madmia, we did not, up until 5 years ago, I spent zero money on marketing. We did not invest any money on marketing. Everything was purely organic. Every photo shoot, even up to today, I do it with my fans, with my customers, with people that love. We don't use big influencers. We don't pay a lot of influencers to support what we do. We actually invite our fans, our customers who purchase the product, who already love the product, who is going to present your product the best on any videos, photos, than the fans, the people who love you and support you already. So I think it's the community who help us get where we are at the moment. And the difference that the socks made in kids' lives. We have testimonials for parents constantly messaging me how a pair of Madmia socks made her kid feel at school and on the street wearing a pair of Madmia socks because they're so colorful and flashy. It's a very simple process. You put a pair of Madmia socks, the kid go on the street, and everybody who sees the sock, they're like, wow, this is amazing. And once the kid hears that, gets that like, oh my God, you look amazing, they want more of that. And that's why they keep coming back for more socks. At the moment, it's not about the Madmia momentum now. It's not which pair of Madmia socks you have, it's how many pairs you have. And I think that's the win for Madmia and for what we do and create here.
Do you know what the biggest number of socks, what's your biggest rating customer with number of socks?
Wow, I have one customer. Her name is Stacy and her daughter is Ebony. They keep coming back and she has every single pair of socks. Every single pair of socks. There's no pair they wouldn't buy. Last night we launched Sanrio, one of our Hello Kitty actually socks. The first customer who bought was Stacy, she's from Sydney. Her daughter absolutely obsessed with the socks. And every post I post on Instagram, she's the first to comment. And it's just very, very cute, very, very cute, nice little community we built. I mean, it's not so little anymore, but it was little. I still call it little because she's still my baby.
What if 60 Minutes could change your business? You don't need another course or another free downloadable PDF. You need actual revenue-generating moves that work right now in e-commerce brands in 2025. And that's exactly what a Quick Wins call with SheCom is all about. In just 1 hour, our expert coaching team will deep dive into your brand, your numbers, your marketing, your sales, and pinpoint the exact tweaks that can unlock more profit, more sales, and more ease as you grow. So are you ready for some quick wins in your business? Book your call now at shecom.co because the faster you take action, the faster you grow your revenues. That is a very unique way for a brand to grow. And I probably crush on you even more after you've answered it that way, to be honest, Tanya, because so many brands forget about building community. I think that the community has so many benefits, as you've just outlined. It's the lifetime value of a customer, it's retention, and it's cheaper to keep customers than it is to have to acquire new ones. But so many brands forget that or have products that can't be that, say, easily repurchased. And I think that's a loss. Like, I think what you're doing is outstanding and very entrepreneurially clever. And I would love to know, like, apart from the fact that your loyalty and your audience crush on you, what have you done from a loyalty perspective? Do you have a loyalty program? Is there discounts or promotions that are launched in advance to some kind of loyalty membership? Is there anything you've done to encourage that?
So we have our ambassador program on our website. Any of our customers can apply. It's a 100% success rate once you apply and you show us how much you love and support Madmia, and you automatically get a 30% discount code for the next 3 months. That way they can share it with family, friends, use it for themselves, and it sort of helps us spread awareness. People are very excited to share what they're wearing. And also we have a platform where they can share their photos, images. We repost them on our social media and support them and show them how much we love them and love the fact that they spend time and money to support what we do.
I'm assuming then that you guys are not having to create a lot of your own content for your socials, because it sounds very much to me like your brand ambassadors are probably producing a lot of the content for you.
Of course. Yes, absolutely. We do create our own content as well. I love doing it. We do have regularly every 2 weeks photo shoot in our office. But again, we invite our customers to come and be part of the photo shoot. We don't do it with paid models or influencers. We just want our customers to come and experience a little bit of what we do inside of office. And when they come, we give them activities that design some socks for us. We have fun. We have lunch. We take photos, videos. It's like full day, Madame Day entertainment.
Oh, so much fun. And so which platforms work best for you on socials then? I'm assuming you're quite big on TikTok.
Yes, TikTok, Instagram is where we shine the most at the moment, where everywhere I go in the world, they're like, I've seen you on Instagram. Like, great. What is the most profitable platform for us in terms of conversion is Facebook.
Amazing. So are you meaning for customer acquisition from running Meta
Yes.
to cold news?
Yes. Yes.
Great. So that is
Yes.
part of your acquisition strategy?
Yes, absolutely. And it's converting, it's doing really well. And I can't believe that 5 years ago, I'm thinking now we weren't doing any paid ads, but now we are, and they're doing really well. I'm like, I wish I started earlier. Maybe it would have been twice as big now.
Do you run your own ads in-house?
Yes. I'm running them. I'm doing it myself with another girl who is working in the office. To be honest, in my office, it's 90% girls, and most of them are my friends and people that I know and hired. So there is this girl that works for me. This is a very interesting story. She started working for me maybe 4 years ago to pack some socks to help us with processing orders. But I can see that she was very ambitious, very driven like me. And I said to her, how about you help me? Go take a course, learn how to do paid Facebook ads. And then we built Madmia together. And this is how we started. Now she's my marketing manager. She's managing everything, doing my ads. Started with some packing socks, but now pretty much running the whole marketing show for me.
I love that. And I want to ask you, you shared a story with us around something that happened in 2019. You had $10,000 left in your bank account, 3 little kids, and you took a $7,000 gamble on a stall at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. What was going through your mind at that point, and how pivotal that decision was for Madmia?
I just purchased the business. I had, as you said, $10,000 in my bank account and socks to sell. However, I had e-commerce website, not a big website in terms of exposure, not many followers. So I came across an ad about the Easter show, and I'm like, maybe this is the best place to see if Madmia gonna make it or break it. The Easter show is full of 10,000 people, kids and parents, my main target market. Why not go there, take a risk and see if it's going to work or not? I decided to take the risk and pretty much spend all my money, $7,000 on the stand. And we did not have much money to put the whole store together. So I went to IKEA, bought some fabric, put it together. And I said to my partner, like, if we manage to just break even into these 2 weeks and I get my money back, it will be a great marketing exposure for Madmia. People will hear about Madmia. It will be a great success. But if not, that means that it's just not going to work out. And I went there. The first day we opened up, within an hour, there was a line in front of our store. People were lining up to buy a pair of Madmia socks. And by lunchtime, we already made $7,000. And that is when I'm like, oh my God, I am onto something really big. People love it. They love the designs. They don't just love it, they're obsessed with it. I mean, there were lines in front of my shop from the morning to night. And since then, we are supporting Royal Easter Show every year. I'm there every year with 3 stores, having so much fun. So many people from not just Sydney, they travel just to come and visit us at the Royal Easter Show.
That's an incredible story, Tanja. Like, I think there's a certain amount of tenacity and grit that comes with female founders that really succeed. I think as women with businesses, and I'm talking more broadly now, whether you have a product brand as listeners or whether you're a service business, I think there's often a road that we come to where we hit a T intersection and we can choose to, perhaps it's a V in the road might be a better way to talk about it. One way is perhaps the humbler, more Australian, less tall poppy syndrome. And the other way is scary. It's like maybe it looks like there's bad, stormy weather ahead. And I think as founders, we're often given an opportunity of which road do we take. And I want to just acknowledge you for a moment about the fact that you took the stormy road and you were all in, and it's clearly paid off. And I really honor the fact that you've really very much lived that think big, be brave, have joy, but also build a booming business, sister. Like, hats off to you. That's incredible.
Thank you. It wasn't, as I said, it wasn't easy. But if you believe it in what you do, I think your time will come eventually.
I've heard a bit of a rumor that maybe you have a saying that there's no such thing as the word no in your dictionary. And there's a bit of a persistence piece there. And I also acknowledge that for a lot of the female founders that succeed with big brands, I can relate to the idea that even my team just said something to me earlier. They were like, no, I'm not sure about that. And I was like, no, I'm telling you, we're doing it. I've got this. This is going to work.
Exactly.
I want to know, like, where did that mindset help you during your journey?
I think I'm born that way. I mean, when I say there is no word in the dictionary for me, I really mean it. It's not about me ignoring the reality. It's about refusing to give up, even when the world is against you. It's about finding a way and not letting it stop. No doesn't mean stop. For me, it's trying another way and make it.
It's another fork in the road.
Yes.
Probably a daily basis as I build another brand with, 40 or 50 staff. The forks in the road happen all the time. And even today, one of my team members resigned. It was unexpected. And I understand why she resigned. It makes total sense to me. She's been self-employed for 15 years and she doesn't like working for somebody. And I get that. We're going to part so amicably. But it's really difficult in those moments sometimes not to let it destabilize us. What's been your tool to navigate those moments where it sometimes feels a little like a sucker punch, but equally, that's just an opportunity to rebuild it better?
Exactly. Well, I don't know. As I said to you before, I feel like I do better when I'm under stress or when I see that I'm at risk. I get to, like, I was telling my partner the other day, it's when, for example, we all have bad and good days in business. And this is a simple example. For example, if I post a social media Instagram account. By the way, I still manage all my social media accounts myself. I can't let it go yet. And then when I post some nights and I'm like, this is a video that is just going to do so well. It's going to go viral. And it doesn't. And do you know what I do? And instead of being upset about it, I just don't sleep all night thinking how I can make this video work better and create a better video. And I think I'm going to go out there and post another video tomorrow to show everybody that this video is better than the video before. So for me, instead of sitting there and being quiet about it and feeling sorry about what I've done, it's not working well, I'm going to go out there and do better. I have to. It's like I have to. I am on a mission to create something better.
A fix-it mentality and a do-it-better mentality. Like, so many powerful pieces as part of this podcast today for our listeners to take away as gold nuggets from this around this never give up attitude as well. Like, it's just everything in business, because I think many of us would recognize that if we wanted an easy life, a life with no stress and strain, we wouldn't be self-employed. And I think that I'm sure you would agree with that too.
100%. Sometimes on a bad day, I'm like, I wish I can just go home and not check my emails and just like focus 100% on just me. But there is no me, unfortunately, when it comes to business. It's business, family, Mad Mia, it's my fourth child and everything else. And all the people that work for me. I mean, now I have 30 people that work and support Mad Mia, live on what we do and create. I have to make sure I do well. I run the business well. Everything's successful, is profitable, is running well. We have 3 warehouses around the world. So it's not just Australia. As an e-commerce business owner, I think I'm the only e-commerce in the world who runs my own warehouses in US and Europe. I don't use 3PLs. I do everything managed by pretty much myself. And it's just very hard. The time zones, everything. I mean, it's a big sacrifice. That's all I gotta say. It's a big sacrifice. I go home. My life is I come to work. I go home. I see my children, put them to bed, and then okay, US is getting up. I need to be on the call, and then I finish that, and then Europe is getting up. Oh, they need to talk, so I'm on the phone with Europe, and it's like all night getting up on the phone, and then the children get up, and then it's like again and again. It never
So wait,
stops.
when do you sleep?
I don't. Like I sleep. I'm constantly tired. That's all I have to say. I'm constantly tired. But you know what? I wouldn't change it. I love it. It's like I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to what I do. My partner is like, I've never seen anybody like you obsessed. I'm up obsessed. I recently had a like procedure into the hospital and I woke up and first thing I did is, it's 7 o'clock. I have to post on Instagram. And my partner is like, Tanya, for God's sake, you're in hospital. I'm like, no, I have to do it. Like in the past, how many years I've been doing my social media, I have not missed a day not to post. I have to be there. Even if two people see me, it makes a big difference. I can't just, I have to be seen. People have to know that I exist. So I have to be present all the time. So even a surgery won't stop me to do what I do.
Why? Like, I'm so curious about this because it sounds to me like you're doing a lot of everything still in your brands. And I mean, obviously that comes at a cost, but I'm so interested as to why, for example, social media has stayed on your plate as opposed to being given to somebody else in the team. Do you have a belief around the founder can post so much better than a team member?
Yes, because I know the brand inside out. I know what to write. I'm already connected with them on a more deeper level than just posting on Instagram. I have people that constantly messaging me. I have to respond. They're messaging me. They know me. I'm the face of the brand. The parents, the kids, the grandparents. We talk. As I said to you, we are a big community, and I need to be there. They need to know it's me. It's always good when people connect to the person and the brand, and I love doing it.
I have just come back from the States recently, and then even just yesterday I was at a conference in Sydney, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think that the cost to acquire cold traffic these days has gone up significantly from where it was a few years ago. That's without question. But many brands are genuinely looking at storytelling and founder-led content as an organic strategy to acquire, and as you're suggesting, keep a community inside a brand that's so valuable to a brand's growth. And I think that when a brand founder exits the brand and it gets taken over by a faceless corporate organization and those things get dropped, like that's a big risk for a brand. And again, hats off to you for maintaining that pace in which you are single-handedly keeping the community alive by maintaining the connection with them.
I wouldn't change it anytime soon, I must say. I love it too much.
I love that.
We call each other Mad Mia family. We are all part of the Mad Mia family, and we all talk and we all try to stay connected. And to be honest, anything I need, I will call first the people who love and support Mad Mia, and they will do anything for Mad Mia. And it just, I'm so grateful. I don't think many brands experience to have this sort of dedication and fans and people that are going to do everything for the brand to succeed.
I don't think that's very common. I am with you. I think there's some really intrinsically beautiful values you've brought through the brand that are very you, Tanya, that a lot of other brands are not doing. Very savvy. I did coin a term recently because I feel a little the same about SheCom, the brand I'm building at the moment, and I called it entrepreneurially aroused. And that's my excitement every day when I do wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning. And the very first thing that happens for me is I go, boom, 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 3 or 4 business ideas will pop into my head. And I think my family suffers sometimes from some jealousy around that. I can't help it though. It's just how I'm wired. And it sounds to me like you're also very similar, perhaps another level.
I guess so. I don't know. I mean, It's very hard to talk about myself and what I do. I wish other people can tell you what I do and how dedicated and how much love I put into everything. But all I can say is incredibly grateful. I'm very lucky to be where I am. I would have not thought I would get here in a million years. Yeah, and as I said to you before, I just keep creating, and people love it and love it and love it. And yeah, that's what drives Madmia, and that's what it got me where it did.
I'd love to know what's on the cards for Madmia for the next 5 years or so. Like, you've already got international expansion and major retailers. Is it more of that, or is there other categories you're going to venture into? What does the future look like?
Well, next month we're launching in Brazil. I'm opening a big warehouse there, and we are launching in South America, which is very exciting. Working on so many projects, licensing projects with many more international big brands. We are also expanding in Asia. As I mentioned to you, I'm very excited about collaboration with Toys R Us Asia. I've been buzzing about that since I came back from the toy fair in Germany. Also, we are expanding in many, many, many more categories. And I wouldn't talk about that much until I launch it, but we are preparing something very big. And as I said to you, we are creating socks, but we're going to expand in so many different categories and going to make it a lifestyle brand that people would just, yeah, dream to have, and will make them happy. It will just something unreal.
I'm sure
we are creating, yeah.
Successful. But I want to just unpack that briefly for a moment. Brazil. I know that South America has one of the fastest growing e-commerce markets or climates in the world. You must have huge hopes for the whole continent of South America if you're launching your own warehouse in Brazil. Talk me through that decision.
My decision started recently in the past 6 months when we started getting a lot of traction from customers in Brazil, Mexico, Argentina. They expressed so much interest and love for the brand. And I have a designer who works for me. She's from Brazil. So I said, is it easy to open a company in Brazil or hard? She's like, well, I'll connect you to the lawyers and we'll make it happen. And we've been preparing it for the past 6 months. I opened a company there and now we are launching it. It is probably the most craziest thing I've ever done because I don't know anybody in Brazil apart from my designer that works for me. But I'm taking the risk. I'm going to go all in. We are launching first with the Madmia range only, and then we're going to slowly bring all the licensed brands as well. However, I already have a traction for it, and I think customers are excited to see the launch and the growth. What we found really challenging with Brazil, especially shipping from anywhere, South America, but Brazil in particular, is shipping from Australia or US to Brazil. For example, if the socks are $20, when you ship them, when the goods arrive, Brazilian custom charge you exact the same amount that you pay for the socks for duties. Exactly. So the socks are $20, you pay $20 extra to clear your goods to solve that issue. And we've had significant amount of returns, customer complaints. Why would I pay so much for custom clearance? Unfortunately, they will have to pay. And to stop this madness. So that's why I want to locate our warehouse in Brazil so customers from Brazil can purchase Madmia and don't be affected by any custom duties or tariffs.
I think that's probably one of the most exciting things that I'm going to hang on finding out from you. I want to have a coffee and dance from now and find out how South America is going for you, because I have really good feelings for you about this one. I think South America is a very, very exciting market with a lot of opportunity to grow. Now, right at the end of our time here on the potty, Tanja, I could talk for hours, but we try and keep these podcasts relatively snappy. I have 5 fast questions I'd like to ask you. They're a snap answer only. So let's jump in. What is one word to describe you that might surprise people?
Macedonian.
What's one word to describe running a business?
Determination.
And what's the first thing you do when you feel stuck?
I go harder. I do more. I get super stubborn and I call everybody I know. And if that fails, I invent a new way.
So inspiring. What's a brand you're personally obsessed with right now?
Oh, wow. That is an easy one. Madmia. It has been and it's going to be for the many, many years to come.
Oh my God, I couldn't love that more. I've never had anyone say their own brand, but I'm definitely sensing a lot of obsession on this podcast today. And what's the biggest business lesson you've had in one sentence?
Your time will come. Just don't leave the party early. Just stay there. Hang on.
So wise. I love
Yeah, I've experienced this. I've felt it not just once, so many times. But if you believe in what you do, if you just keep going, keep swimming, it will happen. Just don't leave and don't give up.
Well, listeners, you heard it here today. Probably one of the most remarkable podcasts I've ever had the pleasure of doing, Tanya, in all honesty. I'm already thinking in my head about which members of my team I have to send a recording to today to listen to on an entrepreneurial geeky moment before it even goes public. And listeners, if you loved this episode today, whether you're on Apple or Spotify, make sure you hit that follow button to be notified when the next episode of She Talks drops. And if today has also wowed you, then jump over on Instagram into my inbox, LisaJones_co, and tell me what you loved about the podcast today. Tanya, I will be waiting and watching your journey of continued success. And I am just in awe, girlfriend. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of She Talks. I hope today's conversation sparked ideas, gave you strategies you can put into action, and reminded you that you're never alone on this journey. If you loved this episode, head over to shecom.co for today's show notes, exclusive freebies, and special offers from our sponsors. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss a future episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep building, and most importantly, keep talking.